I thought I would go through a little bit of what is in my range bag because it continues to grow. So I was starting to go through it and kind of reorganize it and clean it out. And I thought, what a great opportunity to show you some of the things that I make sure that I keep in my range bag. Because I might be going to shoot clay and I might be going to shoot pistol. Now, if I'm going to shoot pistol, I have other things in there. If I'm going to shoot clay, I have other things in there. But eyes and ears, most important. I have this really nice set of eyes that comes in a firm case, so it's not gonna get jammed up and broken in my range bag. It comes with 3 different colored lenses. Clays are almost always orange, but the background of the range you might be shooting at could be all dried up wheat fields, it could be bright green trees, and the clays are gonna show up differently with different colored lenses. It could be a really cloudy day and you wanna make sure that you have yellow on, for example. I also have extra ear protection up here. You never know when someone's gonna show up to the range and not have any ears with them. That doesn't make me comfortable, so I pass out hearing protection. It's the one part of your body that never recovers and never heals if you damage it, and that's your hearing. I have another set of pretty comfortable inners. I always use inner and outer ears when I am shooting shotgun because I shoot 12 gauge and I don't want to develop a flinch, and I have very sensitive hearing. So I always use inners and outers. I have a couple of sets that match my shooting vest. So when I go to shoot clay, I make sure that my pistol stuff is out of my bag so I have room for the vest that I'm going to be wearing that day. And I'm a girl, I want my stuff to match. So I have those, but I have gloves in here. Shooting instructors do not like to work with students with gloves on, so just keep that in mind. I have ones for when it's really cold out, and I have ones for when it's a little hotter out, and you'll notice that these are marked as well with my same pink and my green. I mark all of my range gear with nail polish. I love pink and I love green, so it stands out. Everybody's gear is black, so well, that one needs to be updated. That's the other reason I brought my range bag out. But I mark it with just a dollop of nail polish. I find something like a candle holder to stand them all up in while they dry. Works great. My reloader, my handy dandy reloader, because I don't want to kill my thumb. I'm ranchy and rough and tumble, but I'm very girly all at the same time. And why would I muscle my ammo when I don't need to? So they come in different colors, and if you get one that's lighter in color, you can write your name on there. I didn't, I wound up with a black one. I use a lanyard from a vendor that used to do a ton of work for me years ago, so I know that's mine because that's kind of a unique company name. I have a key for my clays at that particular range. Like I said, I've got my ears with me. I also do something that's kind of girly, but if it's gonna be a really, really hot day and I'm gonna be sweating, I put sunscreen on my face, my neck, and my chest every single day of the year. I don't care if it's 110 or if it's 10 below and it's a blizzard. I always have sunscreen on. Well, if it's a really hot day and you're gonna be sweating, the rubber that's on here is going to take that sunscreen off of your face. So I have these really thin, lightweight, kind of like a gaiter, that I put up and over my head, under my hat, or over my hat, I'm sorry, over my ball cap. Always shoot in a ball cap. You need the protection so that the sun doesn't mess up your eyesight. If you're shooting with other pistol shooters on the line, that you're not getting pinged by a bunch of ammo that's flying out of their semi-automatic. But I cover my ears so wherever this rubber touches, that doesn't take my sunscreen off my face. Also really handy if it happens to be cold outside. It's just enough to block that wind, but it's not so much that these don't seat on there properly for really good hearing protection. And again, I always use inner and outer ears, so it works really handy. I have like 5 sets of inner ears. I have a wild variety. I recently bought these, which are supposed to be noise canceling. This is a user error problem, I promise you, but I've not figured out These do not feel comfortable, and they have not been easy to put in and out of my ears. So I need to go to YouTube and figure out how to use those properly. These ones are from Surefire, and they're really comfortable. I was surprised how comfortable they were. And you squeeze these down, the tips of them down. They come with different size tips, and then you kind of roll them in your ears. Now, OSHA will tell you when you put earplugs in to do it properly, you hold your head back with the opposite hand and put it in. I don't do that, even though I'm an OSHA instructor, but I squeeze these tips down. They seat in there. I hold them tight in place until the foam expands like you would with old school foam earplugs. If you see a set of earplugs and one tip is red, red is for the right ear. So that's always handy to remember. This particular set comes with a lanyard, but because I use inner and outer, I don't use the lanyard, and I'm just very careful that I don't drop them in the dirt because that would be gross and very uncomfortable to wear. So what else do I have in there? I have a hard-sided mag pouch. I don't love the hard-sided mag pouch, and I'll show you why. I'm pretty curvy, and I have a waist, and if I'm wearing regular rise pants, it jams me right in my ribs, and I'm not as quick with it because I'm a girl, I have a chest, I have a waist, and because I'm so curvy, and because these mags happen to be higher capacity, they're taller and they just jam right into me. So I have soft-sided ones, and again, I love green because I have green eyes, and these soft-sided ones are fantastic. They don't jam me. They're adjustable on the back, so depending on, you want to make sure these are snug, so when you go to stick your belt through them and you go to pull that mag out to do a quick mag change, you want to make sure this isn't rocking around. These do Velcro closed if you want to put something else in them, like a shorter something, like maybe a tactical flashlight or something, and then you just Velcro them open when you're utilizing them for your mag pouches. And like I said, they're adjustable. Notice those are marked as well. I had a very interesting experience buying a tactical belt. So I've won a number of trophy buckles over the years. They're all engraved in the same direction. So you put your belt on to the left, loops around, you close it, and your buckle is, you can read the buckle. It's not upside down. Very strange how many tactical belts I looked at that went in the opposite direction for the buckle to actually work. So 511 Tactical had this one. It actually has a nice curve already built into it for your waist, which was really handy and nice. The way I have to put this one on, I put my mag pouch on first because it's on the left. I bypass the first loop on my belt. I then start feeding my mag pouch. And the reason why, because I do have a smaller waist, I work it all the way around. I put my holster on, which I still need to mark, which is the other reason I grabbed my gear bag today. This is a drop holster for the same reason, because I don't want stuff jamming in my ribs, especially if I have to be quick in and out if we're doing a speed draw exercise or something. So I bought a drop one. I don't love that this one doesn't have the ability to be adjusted for the cant to kind of come back. So I kind of wiggle it on my belt a little bit. It is adjustable for tightness, but it's not adjustable, that I have figured out anyway, for the cant to be changed a little bit for it. Tactical flashlight, if I'm going to be shooting in the evening, or if we're doing tactical night drills or tactical drills of any kind. This is a really nice tactical flashlight that is rechargeable with a USB. This sucker is super bright. You don't have to click all the way through it to get to the brightest setting. You can set it on that brightest setting, so when you are doing any tactical work, it's fantastic. It's not cheap, but it was fantastic. Marked my flashlight as well, because again, these things are a little on the expensive side. Phoenix, Fenix is the brand. This one does not have the teeth on the front of it. I like tactical flashlights, and I keep them in my car and I keep them elsewhere that have teeth on the front of them. So if you ever had to just ram somebody in the face, it's going to take a little bit of DNA with it, and it's kind of handy to have. So this is just for tactical night shooting work. It will blind the heck out of somebody running at you. So there's a lot to be learned with tactical flashlight work. So try and find some training for that. I also have a first aid kit that goes on the back of my gun belt. Again, these are adjustable, so you can kind of seat that in there really tightly. It came preloaded, and then I just added a few other things to it. Don't rely on other people for your safety at the gun range. Outdoor ranges are remote. A lot of them, some of them don't even have cell phone service. So God forbid there's an event and somebody's running to the one and only landline that might be at that particular range to call 911. Somebody needs to do what needs to be done in the meantime. So take some first aid and CPR training, take some, bleed control training that's available out there. I have other first aid kits. I have an inhaler in here. I have Alka-Seltzer in there because you just never know. I have another thing of Band-Aids and Neosporin, again, marked with my colors. I have liquid bandage because I've cut my hands before, and that's not fun. I've broken a nail out there. I know that sounds silly, but it can be really distracting because my nails are really strong, and if they break halfway up, it's not pleasant. You got to glue that sucker back down and tape it up. If you're going to be shooting pistol shooting, don't let your nails get any longer than that, or you can't have a really good grip on that pistol. So that's something to keep in mind. You also don't want really pointy stiletto type nails if you're going to be shooting a lot, because you're going to stab yourself. So been there, done that. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I have vet wrap. Never leave home without vet wrap. You never know when you're going to need vet wrap. But if I am putting a Band-Aid on something, I have medical tape to tape the Band-Aid on to make sure that doesn't budge. This was because this is a very grippy grip. And when I was shooting over a week, right, I had 5 full days. I had day 0. So it wound up being 7 days in a row. This really grippy grip was soring up my hand, even though I'm ranchy, not raunchy, but it was soring up my hand. So I just wrapped it in vet wrap, which is still grippy, but it just helped me not be distracted. You don't want any distractions when you're trying to work on defensive pistol shooting, even target shooting, but defensive pistol shooting especially. You need to be focused on the scenario and the situation. You don't want your hand bugging you or a broken nail bugging you, right? So you just gotta suck it up and focus. But that's pretty much in a nutshell. And I have this little pouch, so all the little things wind up in this pouch, so they're not flying all over my bag. Like my ears go in there. Any extra mags that don't fit in my locking pistol case, I wind up putting in this little pouch. I have a holder for this because I do want to spend more time training with the hard-sided ones because they're a little bit shallower. I can still be quick in and out of this one, but look at the clearance. There's a little bit better clearance, and I don't risk grabbing anything else when you go to grab that mag out of there and you're trying to be really, really quick on your mag change. So this is ideal. I just have to find one that doesn't jam me in the rib cage and we'll be good. My ears, my outers, like I said, I always wear inners and I always wear outers. This is a really nice brand because it has noise control in here. When I first got it, it was not intuitive, but the batteries go in the opposite side as the hearing control. When you're done wearing your ears for the day, if you have battery operated hearing control, don't forget to shut it off at the end of the day. Always keep spare batteries with you. I like these locking cases. I have some of my identification, some of my club badges, my instructor patches in here. My Girl in a Gun name tag is in there. My Armed Women of America badge is in there. And then some indoor ranges. If you want to shoot out of a holster, you have to do a qualification to be allowed to shoot, to draw out of your holster at an indoor range. So I keep the qualification patches and badges and all that stuff in this. These I found at the dollar store, and they're great. They've got nice little locking deals to them, but mark your stuff. That's all I can say. Mark your stuff. If you are a sprawler and you're next to somebody on that one bench that's available at the range and they're a sprawler, stuff's gonna start disappearing. I keep my hot pink and my lime green nail polish with me and the charger for my tactical flashlight so that can't disappear in this case. So when I need to mark some more things like I do today, that's what I'm gonna use. So I always have this with me so I don't have to look for another set of it. But like I said, I marked everything, and it's something you might want to consider doing as well. Every now and then one will come off, but it's rare. These have been on there for quite a while, and they've lasted really, really well. And guys don't necessarily, most guys, I shouldn't say that, but they don't seem to love hot pink and lime green as much as I do. So there you have it, folks. Enjoy. Happy shooting, safe shooting. Spend time on the range. Get your gear bag set up so you have things that you might need. If it's going to be hot, the other thing I always have with me is electrolytes. Your eyesight is very much dependent. Your eye ability, not just your eyesight, is very much dependent on your level of hydration. So make sure if it's going to be a hot day, you're tanking up on your liquids the day before. Just drinking water is never enough. You need to have good quality electrolytes. So I always have spare in there, but I have LMNT and some other stuff that I'll drink. But oh, and I have another pair of shooting gloves in there because these are really lightweight. You just never know if it's going to be chilly out, and you really make sure they're shooting gloves. Don't use gloves that aren't designed for shooting. But again, an instructor is not necessarily going to want you shooting in gloves if you're still training. So just keep that in mind and keep your instructor happy, and make sure that you're learning practice perfect, right? For good execution. That's it. Happy shooting, ladies.